Hey, what's up you guys, it's Caboose bringing you another Spider-Man Miles Morales video, and today what I got for you guys here is a huge news roundup. The Game Informer cover has been revealed to be Spider-Man Miles Morales, and with it we got some new gameplay, a look at the tracksuit in-game, a brand new suit that hasn't been revealed until now, a villain that we now know will show up in the game, and so much more. I got an overwhelming amount of news for you today. But before we get into everything, I wanted to ask you guys, of course, if at any point you enjoyed today's video, if you could consider leaving a like rating on it, it would show your support and I would really appreciate it. So if you enjoyed the video at any point, leaving a like rating would be awesome. And also, if you're new here and you're looking forward to Spider-Man Miles Morales, well then I got you covered. I'm making videos on all the news, updates, trailers, gameplay, my reactions, my inevitable let's play for the game, the whole 9 yards. And considering the Game Informer is going to be giving us a whole month of coverage leading up to the release of Spider-Man Miles Morales, well then this is going to be one of your best places to get all that information. So if you'd like to, you can subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to be immediately notified when a video goes live. And with all that being said, let's jump into this. So as I said at the top of the video, the next Game Informer cover has been revealed to be Spider-Man Miles Morales, and with it accompanied a video that gave us a quick glimpse at some free roam gameplay and some looks at the tracksuit in the game. You've been seeing that on screen, and I gotta say, I am loving everything that I'm seeing here. This game looks amazing. I think one of the things that's really starting to excite me about Spider-Man Miles Morales is just how truly different it's going to be to play as this character. When you're swinging around, the animations are going to be different. You're not going to feel as skilled as Peter Parker is, considering that he's been Spider-Man for 8 years in this universe. And then also when it comes to the combat, having the different abilities, the camouflage, the venom blast, that's going to be so much fun. And then seeing that tracksuit, it looks great. I'm really digging the design, and I'm very much looking forward to jumping into photo mode using that suit. And then in heading over to the Game Informer article when the cover reveal was posted, they give us some details about what to expect over the coming days/weeks from their coverage of the game. They mentioned, join us for a deep dive into Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, a sequel that cranks the superhero action up a notch and gives us an intimate look at the life of another wall crawler who is in way over his head in crime fighting, relationships, and getting to know his new home. Developer Insomniac Games gave us a lengthy tour of Spider-Man Miles Morales running on PlayStation 5, and we were blown away by just how ambitious of a follow-up it is, both in how explosive the action is right out of the gates and how much care went into developing Miles as a new Spider-Man. The article then goes on to mention that the story will run across 15 pages and offer exclusive details for the opening moments of the game, Miles' powers, the open world, unlockable suits, the new skill tree, and so much more. We spent a day talking to the development team about what makes this sequel different and what players can expect from it on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. In addition to our cover story, which hits digital today and mailboxes soon, we'll have a full month of Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales coverage online, complete with exclusive videos, screenshots, and developer interviews. Hell yes, the hype train is in full force now. With less than a month to go until the launch of this Game Informer coverage is going to give us a lot, it seems. The actual cover itself for Game Informer was done by Sarah Pacelli, which you're seeing on screen right now. I love the design here. I love the artwork, so good. And then finally from this cover reveal, we also got a brand new screenshot which looks awesome of Peter and Miles swinging together. Now, I don't know how much of this we're actually going to get in the game in terms of having both of the Spider-Men on screen at the same time, but I will say what this is potentially setting up for a full-on Spider-Man 2 is very exciting. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but just imagine a scenario where there's online co-op and you can be playing as either Spider-Man with your friend. Or even if we're not going to go to that extent and we're keeping it single player, just imagine a game where you can play as both of them and switch on the fly. That would be so much fun. But moving on, huge breaking news as of the recording of this video, the digital magazine for Game Informer has been released, and a ton of people have been sharing some new screenshots and new alternate suits that we got revealed from the magazine. First things first, and I actually got this off the Game Informer website itself, we got the 2020 suit, which, oh my goodness, this is so cool. A lot of people out there are dubbing this the Daft Punk suit for Miles, and I'm all for it. I love the neon lights, I love the design of this costume, and jumping into photo mode with this, I'm gonna have a blast. And although we've seen a lot of it already, there is a new screenshot of the tracksuit, and you can finally see it up close where you can get an idea of the textures in the suit and really get a look at it. You already know my thoughts on the tracksuit. I love it, and I just can't wait to use it. And then a big shout out to Khalid Brooks. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing the name. They got some screenshots from the Game Informer magazine, and we're posting some over on their Twitter, and that's where some of these next screenshots are coming from. The first of which is confirming that Rhino will be in the game, just as I was hoping. He was on my villains wish list. It's going to be a full circle thing from the first encounter we had with Rhino playing as Miles in Spider-Man PS4, except this time we're going to be facing off against him head on. I'm hoping there's some new mechanics here and that it's going to feel different from the boss battle that we had against the character in Spider-Man PS4, and I'm sure that it will, considering that that fight was including Scorpion. I can't really tell where they are, but I'm assuming it's the raft, and there's once again a prison break where Rhino's just trying to get out and we have to stop him. And then we got a screenshot here from Khalid that has the Peter Parker render in Spider-Man Miles Morales, so we're gonna see Peter Parker interacting with Miles out of the suit in some way. And I know what you're thinking. I know what a lot of people out there are feeling right now, seeing this full render. He looks very, very young, and I do agree. I'm not the biggest fan of the redesign either. That being said, though, there are some people who are taking this topic way too far. This is not worth attacking developers over. You can just say you don't like something or that you disagree with a decision that a developer has made without trying to sound like a jerk about it. So please, if you're one of those people who are getting extra aggressive about the redesign of Peter Parker, try to reevaluate the way you're getting your opinion across. And the last thing that I wanted to go over in this video is a nice Twitter thread that was posted by user Shinobi602 on Twitter. He's a games journalist, he works in the industry, and he posted a ton of bullet point information about Spider-Man Miles Morales that's listed in the Game Informer article. So first off, he mentions that the PS5 performance mode is actually a dynamic 4K 60 FPS. Holy crap. The fidelity mode for PS5 is a 4K 30 FPS, but this includes the ray tracing and other improved visuals. There are no load screens in the game, even when you're fast traveling, and apparently Game Informer was very impressed with the ray tracing. That is all amazing to hear. 4K 60 is incredible. I really want to see the game with the ray tracing, so I might do my first playthrough on the fidelity mode, and then from then on out just play it on performance mode so I can have the 60 FPS. This is going to be a tough decision for me to make, to be honest. To continue with this Twitter thread, though, he mentions that the game will progress the narrative forward for both Peter and Miles. He says here, new to being Spider-Man and learning, Miles' animations look visually less fluid/refined. There is a heavy emphasis on Miles' story. He's the only playable character, and there's even bigger set pieces than Spider-Man PS4. Even more details here. There are unannounced villains that will be in the game, so even more than just the Tinkerer and Rhino. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider app is something that players can use the touchpad for to quickly pick activities, crimes, and more with Miles' phone without going into a separate menu. And there's also improved dynamic camera placement during combat, which sounds great. Seriously, how can you sit there after everything that I've just mentioned and truly, with a straight face, tell me that Spider-Man Miles Morales is just an overglorified DLC? This is going to be a standalone game. It may not be of the story length and massive scale of Spider-Man PS4, but it's still going to be a self-contained story with a full arc for the character of Miles Morales and brand new features in terms of gameplay, traversal, and more. And then finally, capping off this Twitter thread, he mentions that takedowns can now be performed from ceilings and walls. You can go invisible to go back into stealth. The DualSense controller provides you that rumble when you're shooting webs. The triggers then tighten as Miles reaches the end of each swing, and with photo mode, you can now customize the lighting, which we did know about. There's going to be new selfie poses, stickers, frames, and more. I seriously cannot put into words how excited I am for Spider-Man Miles Morales, especially after all of the news that has dropped today. The hype is in overdrive. And with all that said, I now gotta kick it to you guys and let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. I know it's an overwhelming amount of news, but what has gotten you the most excited? And between the tracksuit or the 2020 suit, which now is being dubbed the Daft Punk costume from Miles, which one do you like more? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, if you could consider leaving a like rating on it, it would show your support and I would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose, and you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Those links are going to be in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.